think they're plants.
I don't know why everybody keeps trying to make Tyler Perry out to be some black saint. The simple fact that he used and misused and abused the black community, especially the churches, and the only church he ever really gave big donations to was TD Cakes, another freak-off veteran who come to bless the baby oil. Tyler Perry told his male actors they're not allowed to consort with me because I saw you at a Diddy party, Tyler, and you were having a glorious time.
I wasn't the first one. This has a reputation for trying to get comedians to sell out of court and pay her. It's plants. Always. If it's violence at a comedy show, it is a plant. The ticket said comedy show, did not say serious show.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
This isn't just another day in the entertainment world. This is a seismic shift. Two of the most outspoken, unapologetically real comedians in the game, Katt Williams and Eddie Griffin, are locking arms and taking aim at a giant Tyler Perry, and they're not holding back. This isn't about petty squabbles or industry drama. This is about something much deeper, something Eddie Griffin feels in his bones. He's speaking out against what he perceives as the systemic oppression his community faces, and he's pointing the finger directly at Tyler Perry and the empire he's built. He's tired of the carefully crafted image, the narrative of Perry as a benevolent force in black entertainment. Eddie's ready to expose what he believes is the truth behind the curtain, the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes, the exploitation, the hypocrisy. And he's not alone. Katt Williams, a force of nature in his own right, is standing beside him, ready to amplify the message. They're prepared to dismantle the carefully constructed facade and reveal what they see as the ugly truth beneath. This isn't about laughs. This is about accountability. This is about a fight for representation, for respect for the soul of black entertainment. Buckle up, because this conversation is about to get real, raw, and potentially explosive. This isn't just tea. This is a revolution. Both Eddie Griffin and Katt Williams have reached their breaking point. They've witnessed firsthand the manipulative tactics employed by Hollywood's power brokers, the exploitation of young, vulnerable talent, and the perpetuation of a system designed to keep black artists in a subordinate position. They've seen dreams crushed, careers derailed, and voices silenced. The glitz and glamour of Hollywood have worn thin, revealing the harsh realities beneath the surface. They're no longer willing to remain silent observers. They've chosen to speak out, not just for themselves, but for the countless others who have been marginalized and exploited by the industry. They see the damage being done, the long-term consequences of this systemic oppression, and they're determined to disrupt the status quo, even if it means taking on some of the biggest names in Hollywood. This isn't just about personal grievances. It's about a fight for the future of black entertainment, a battle against a system they believe is rigged against them. To grasp the intensity of Eddie Griffin and Katt Williams' accusations, we need to look at the historical landscape of black comedy. In Hollywood, shows like Martin, Malcolm, and Eddie, and The Jamie Foxx Show weren't simply entertainment. They were cultural milestones, bringing authentic black voices and perspectives into the mainstream. These programs broke down barriers in an industry known for its lack of diversity. Networks like UPN even became associated with black entertainment, providing opportunities for talented individuals who may have otherwise struggled to break through. However, this apparent progress often proved illusory. Once these shows achieved popularity and profitability, networks like UPN frequently abandoned black programming, reverting to more generic content. This left many black creatives in the lurch, highlighting a troubling pattern. The industry often uses black talent for short-term gains, without any real investment in lasting representation. Eddie Griffin has been a vocal critic of this exploitative system. He argues that Hollywood uses black creators to reach specific audiences, then discards them when they're no longer seen as profitable. His own show, Malcolm and Eddie, exemplifies this. Despite its success, it never received the same level of promotion or industry accolades as similar sitcoms with white leads. Griffin has called out this hypocrisy, describing Hollywood as a system that profits from black talent while simultaneously marginalizing and controlling it. So where does Tyler Perry fit into this narrative? According to Griffin, Perry, despite being celebrated as a pioneer for black creatives, is complicit in these harmful practices. Griffin accuses Perry of perpetuating the very system that exploits and undermines black talent. He's not simply criticizing individual actions. He's challenging Perry's alleged role in maintaining a deeply flawed and discriminatory system. Look, the whispers have been going around for years, but now they're getting louder. More insistent people who've been in the trenches, who've worked with Tyler Perry or seen his dealings up close, are starting to talk. And what they're saying isn't pretty. It's not just about demanding contracts or tough negotiations. It's about something more insidious. They're talking about calculated power plays, about artists being pressured into deals that benefit Perry while leaving them with little to nothing. They're talking about careers being deliberately stalled, about people being blackballed for daring to speak up, for daring to challenge the king. And he has so many influential people on his side that it seems nearly impossible trying to bring him down.
Tyler's a gangster too, because Tyler, I think, has done more. In our lifetime, man, in this generation, I don't think there's been anybody black that's been more successful than this dude in terms of ownership. Now, the queen was Oprah for a long time. Right. Oprah ain't no joke. But she teaches it to us. She done told me, Steve, gotta get ownership. That's Tyler's whole mantra, but I think what Tyler finna do of late gonna change the game. He finna go past.
And then there's the Oprah connection. Let's be real. Nobody wants to mess with Oprah. But some are saying it's not just a partnership. It's a conspiracy, a carefully orchestrated alliance to control the narrative, to keep certain stories from seeing the light of day. And Monique, her situation is exhibit a talented, outspoken woman who dared to call out Perry, and suddenly her career hit a brick wall. Blackmail, career sabotage. Those are the words being thrown around now. Whether any of this is actually provable in court is another story. But the fact that these stories are circulating so widely, that so many people are willing to speak out, even anonymously, tells you something. It casts a serious shadow over the whole Tyler Perry empire. And it makes you wonder, what's the real price of his success? Who's paying the tab for all that glitz and glamour? And Monique did get dealt a very bad hand. What's worse is that even now, a lot of people don't know about what he did. Real quick, let's talk about this Monique and Tyler Perry drama, because it's a whole mess. It all goes back to Precious, a movie that, let's be honest, wouldn't have been the same without Monique's powerhouse performance. She won an Oscar for it, Best Supporting Actress, the whole 9 yards. But here's the thing, she refused to campaign for the movie. And that's where the trouble started. Now Monique's side of the story is pretty straightforward. She says she wasn't contractually obligated to do any extra promotion, and she wasn't about to sacrifice precious family time for endless festivals and press junkets. She took the role for a relatively small fee, $50,000, because it was initially a small independent film. Then Tyler Perry and Oprah came on board as executive producers, and suddenly Precious became a much bigger deal. The team behind the movie started pushing her to campaign, but Monique stood her ground. She said, essentially, look, I'm not doing all this extra work for free. If you want me to promote the movie, you got to pay me, which honestly seems pretty reasonable. She'd already done her job by delivering an award winning performance. Why should she be expected to do all this extra work without compensation? But that's where things get messy. Monique claims that Perry and Oprah essentially blackballed her for refusing to play ball. She says they ed their influence to damage her career to make sure she didn't get other roles. And let's be real, if Oprah and Tyler are whispering in Hollywood's ear that you're difficult, it's going to have an impact. It's a power move, plain and simple, and it raises some serious questions about how these industry giants wield their power, and who gets crushed under their heels when they don't get what they want. So yeah, The whole thing is a tangled web of accusations and denials. But one thing's for sure, it's a story about power, about who has it, and who gets punished for challenging it. What I was not going to do was to make Hollywood the priority, she said before recalling her and Perry's conversation at the Neighborhood Awards. I said to Perry, I'm not in the business of working for free. So we had a mutual agreement, no problem. We got up, we hugged, everything was good. When they knew that I was not going to be the actress, or be the one that say, because it's them, I got to do it. No, I don't care who it is, now comes the blackball. And so the fallout from Monique refusing to campaign for Precious was swift and brutal. Suddenly, she started hearing whispers the dreaded, difficult to work with label started getting attached to her name. And let's be real, in Hollywood, that label can be a career killer. It's like a scarlet letter, and it spreads like wildfire. Monique claims Tyler Perry himself was actively bad-mouthing her, even going so far as to poison the well with other directors like David E. Talbert. That's some serious behind-the-scenes maneuvering. And Oprah, well, Monique says she never heard Oprah say anything negative about her directly. But the silence speaks volumes, doesn't it? Oprah is a powerful woman. Her voice carries weight, and by choosing to stay silent during this whole ordeal, some argue she was implicitly condoning Perry's actions. It's like saying, I'm not going to get my hands dirty, but I'm also not going to stop him now. The interesting thing is, despite all this, Monique insists she doesn't harbor any resentment towards Perry, Oprah, or even Lee Daniels, the director of Precious. She's spoken about forgiveness and moving forward. But the story still raises some uncomfortable questions. It highlights the power dynamics at play in Hollywood and how easily reputations can be tarnished, careers derailed when you dare to challenge the established order. It's a cautionary tale, a reminder that even winning an Oscar doesn't necessarily protect you from the machinations of the industry's power players. Let me be clear, I love those people. We love those people, my husband and I love them. They're our brothers and sisters, she said. And as my husband always says, Mama, we ain't calling nobody out. We're simply calling them up to say, listen, let's make our community better by making it right, not running and hiding by what you consider is your power. But hold up, because the story doesn't end there. Turns out Monique's patience has officially run out. She's done playing nice. TMZ reported that she went off on Oprah and Tyler Perry during a recent stop on Katt Williams' Dark Matter comedy tour. And we're not talking about a few subtle jabs. This was a full-blown scorched earth takedown. She didn't hold back. She let loose everything she'd been holding inside for years, and then she took it a step further. She got the whole crowd involved, chanting some seriously inflammatory stuff about Perry and Winfrey. We're talking fighting words, the kind of stuff that gets headlines and burns bridges. Clearly, Monique is no longer interested in forgiveness or reconciliation. She's ready to fight fire with fire. And she's not afraid to take down anyone who gets in her way. This situation just went from simmering to a full-blown boil.
You go from Winfrey, you Tyler Perry. That motherfucker, I said it, say it with me. You Oprah Winfrey. You Tyler Perry. You motherfucker.
When she saw some hesitation in the crowd, some folks not quite willing to join in on the Oprah and Tyler Perry bashing, she didn't let it slide. Oh no, she called them out, mocking their reluctance, their apparent reverence for Oprah. It was like, really, you're not going to participate? You're still on the Oprah train after everything. But then, in a bizarre twist, she insisted that her whole rant, the name-calling, the whole spectacle, was all coming from a place of love. It's a confusing message, to say the least. And she didn't stop there. She then turned her attention to Oprah's inner circle, specifically her close friendship with Gayle King.
You see Gayle. Best friends is what they say. I've never seen best friends like that. We ain't seen Stephanie in 30 motherfucking years. Who is loving Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King?
And it left a lot of people wondering what Monique's endgame really is. Is this about justice, about exposing the truth? Or is it something else entirely?
But we don't want to say this out loud because it's Oprah Winfrey. I'm too old to be scared of this. I'm too old to be intimidated by this. I'm too old to hold the motherfucking truth. I love that black raggedy bitch. I love that black simple-minded mother. I love Oprah Winfrey's black, and we just need to bring her back.
The whole thing took another strange turn when Monique singled out an audience member, a man named Melvin.
You're saying? Yes. Okay, well, I'm not apologizing. For any motherfucking thing I say. What's your name, brother? Bill. What did you say? Melvin.
It was like she was using his fandom as justification for her own harsh words. It's a strange logic, but it's clear she felt validated by his response. And then she doubled down on this whole idea of bringing Oprah back to black, a phrase that's with meaning and open to interpretation. What does that even mean? Is she accusing Oprah of abandoning her community, of aligning herself too closely with white Hollywood? It's a complex accusation, and it adds another layer to this already messy feud. It's clear Monique feels justified in her actions, that she believes she's fighting some kind of righteous battle. But the methods she's using are definitely raising eyebrows and causing a lot of controversy.
I need you to help us bring that back to black. I need you to bend her the over and her like a Nashville, Tennessee would and bring that back to black.
Monique commanded Melvin.
Monique commanded Melvin, adding more fuel to the fire. Monique revealed on Club Sachet that her husband Sidney Hicks observed some interesting behavior from Oprah during the Precious Awards season. According to Hicks, Oprah seemed less than thrilled about Monique's win, almost as if she resented the attention being directed away from herself and towards the actress. It's a subtle but potentially telling detail, suggesting a possible undercurrent of rivalry or jealousy. Monique herself not noticed a shift in Oprah's attitude after the Oscars. She recounted a particularly frustrating incident involving Lee Daniels' film The Butler, a role that was initially intended for Monique, ended up going to Oprah. When Monique questioned Daniels about this, he claimed he didn't have the power or the financial leverage to say no to Oprah. It's a claim that paints a picture of Oprah wielding considerable influence behind the scenes, potentially using her position to secure roles and sideline other actors. Monique also alleges a similar scenario played out with a Richard Pryor biopic where she was seemingly edged out of a role through similar tactics. These incidents taken together suggest a pattern of behavior, a potential abuse of power, but Monique is now determined to expose. The recurring theme in all of this is Tyler Perry's silence, and in action people are starting to ask if he truly is the powerful, influential figure he's made out to be. Why didn't he step up and defend Monique if he has Oprah's ear, as many believe he does? Why didn't he use his influence to ensure she got a fair shake? He could have easily intervened, could have spoken up on her behalf. But he chose not to, and that choice speaks volumes. It suggests that he may not be the saintly, supportive figure he portrays himself to be. In fact, the accusations suggest the opposite, that he actively participated in Monique's downfall, joining forces with Oprah to sideline her and damage her career. This isn't the behavior of a brother, as some have called him. It's the behavior of someone who prioritizes power and control over fairness and solidarity. And that's why so many people are now questioning his motives, his character, and his true commitment to the Black community he claims to champion. And the Monique situation isn't an isolated incident. Recent comments from both Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels have sparked a broader conversation about how they wield their power and privilege. They've been accused of using their gender and class status to distance themselves from the very communities that helped them rise to prominence. It's a classic tale of making it, and then forgetting where you came from. And what's even more troubling is the way they alleged leverage patriarchal ideas about economic success to blame Black people for their own lack of access and representation in Hollywood. It's a twisted logic that essentially says, if you haven't achieved what I have, it's your own fault. This kind of rhetoric ignores the systemic barriers, the deeply ingrained biases that continue to hold back so many talented Black artists. It's a betrayal of the community, a dismissive attitude that further marginalizes those who are already struggling to be seen and heard. It's not just about individual actions anymore. It's about a mindset, a way of thinking that perpetuates the very inequalities they claim to be. Fighting against another point of contention for many is Tyler Perry's comedic reliance on putting black men in dresses. While some might see it as harmless humor, others find it deeply problematic, perpetuating harmful stereotypes and contributing to the emasculation of black men in media. The fact that he even attempted this with Kevin Hart, a comedian known for his hyper-masculine persona, further underscores the issue. It's as if Perry can't resist resorting to this tired trope, even when it clashes with the performer's established image.